Okay, so this video here will show you how to create a distorted grid rather than a realistic grid. So what you'll need is a fresh page in your book and your grid that you've already drawn up on your printed picture. Okay, so you're still using the same one. What you have to do is make sure you know the measurements of the border and then create that border on a fresh page in your book. Okay, so mine's 18 by 22 centimeters. Next thing you need to do is count the number of lines that you drew on each end. So that end's 8 lines and the long end is 10 lines. What you do now is make little points for those lines, but they don't have to be 2 centimeters apart. They can be any number of centimeters apart. I just made a point of which numbers on my ruler they were so that I could do the same down the bottom and then have equal lines that match up on both sides. Okay, but as you can see, they're just random sort of odd intervals rather than every 2 centimeters. Do the same thing on the other side, making sure that you've got 8 lines on the short side, 10 lines on the long side. They can be wherever you want them to be though. Connect them up. Now you have this sort of wacky, crazy grid. Rub out all the numbers that you marked and put ABC and numbers down the left-hand side, just as you've got on your original grid. Now you do the exact same thing, so trying to fill the same squares with the same amount of information. Okay, so if an eye takes up a certain amount of a few squares, you do that exact same amount, but just matching it up to how that square has actually been morphed. All right, so you can see that I've got one really big eye, and then because I have shrunk E, F, and G, it's a really shrunken, squished eye. Okay, the nose is bigger on one side than the other because one of those squares is elongated. All right. So what you're going to end up with is a sort of very much a morphed, strange version of your portrait rather than a realistic one. Okay? Email me if you have any questions.